The consumerism slop epidemic. I recently helped one of my friends from America came here, recorded a video about the city I live in. He paid me a good amount. I was about to buy an Apple Watch because I wanted to buy one so badly. But I was like, no, fuck that. That's just BS. Let me actually save up and invest more, okay?
He's completely ruined by collectors, whales, and internet culture nowadays. We
Oh yeah,
briefly
internet
went on a
culture.
side quest talking about this in the SUV epidemic last week, which you can watch after this video, but legit, I couldn't stop thinking about this topic.
I'm an SUV fan, what can I say? I'm sorry.
Which is why I'm now making a whole video on this. Like, we got the competitive, ranked, sweaty scalper
I
nerds
never
who
got
camp
this.
out not even just one night, but even multiple nights, sometimes to buy something that wasn't even limited.
That looks like a $3 toy from, I don't know, Toys R Us or whatever.
Edition. And if that's not the epitome of like wasted time or peak FOMO culture, I don't know what else to say.
Can't believe you bums actually waited outside for a week.
How much
for this
is that?
Freaking
I knew there was like a craze like a few weeks ago, but I don't know what the fuck this is. What's the price?
I thought Labubu's and Stanley Cups were going to be as bad as it got, but
I mean, at least Stanley Cups are, you know, functional. You can just buy this. Like this is like, what, $1?
at least Stanley
Maybe 2 or
Cups
3.
still served a functional purpose. But legit, every new
This looks way cooler, by the way, okay?
collectible trend I see on TikTok nowadays is literally just rebranded AliExpress landfill slop. Like,
Yeah.
I finally understand what people mean when
Yeah,
they
if
call
you're smart, just, you know, do some drop shipping with what's trending. That's it.
these trends recession indicators, because by nature that's what it means. It's full-grown adults who basically turn to flexing children's toys and trading cards to fill the luxury void in their life. Now the problem,
If you're actually making money out of this, you're smart. I don't have anything against you. If you're actually one of the crazy ones trying to buy all of this for the trends, you're just an adult with a baby brain.
with this is that it deprives actual children and parents of children trying to buy and enjoy these hobbies at affordable
Holy
prices,
shit.
since this obsessive collector culture created by adults with far more purchasing power than, well, obviously a kid, has made it where these hobbies are now grown-up exclusive because it has basically priced out the original demographic of children. Like, I still cannot get over how sad it is that there are grown-ass men fighting out in front of Pokemon vending machines, camping out in front of them overnight, or like just waiting until employees restock them. And like, speaking of employees and restocking, shout out Target for actually just cutting open the seals on boxes, because these scalpers and their desire to flip these unopened, pristine condition boxes.
Target cutting the seal at the counter. Yes, it looks like it's finally happening more and more. So we've actually seen tons of general managers just start ripping the seal on those products before they even ring them up. Tons of collectors agreeing that this should be the norm. Compared to GameStop's strategy on Pokemon this year, it's just listing seal product at scalper prices and beyond. $90 for a send.
Bro, I don't know if you guys agree with me, but collecting has gone way too far. Okay? You can collect whatever you want. I don't care. You can collect like different types of dildos if I want to. People are gonna judge you, but it's your private life. I don't give a shit. But god damn, when you're ruining businesses, going crazy, getting into fights, scamming, all for the collector craze? No. Yeah, you're insane.
I would much rather see
These are just first world problems.
this than this.
Like, take part of a hobby to actually be part of the hobby, not to profit off of it. I really want to emphasize this is not
I've got nothing against profiting off of it, man. Just, you know, be a normal human
a
being.
hobby hate video.
Don't scam
where I'm
people.
laughing at the communities. We are only hating on scalpers and diehard collectors, and especially scalpers. I'll just throw them under the bus again, because you can never
Yeah.
hate them enough. They are total
Yeah,
bottom
I get
feeders
it.
of human society. It's gotten so bad that they've killed every single hobby on every corner of the internet. This is what is also currently killing the car community, because not only are dealerships scalping, there are still delusional, I know what I have, and the low ballers. And I'll
Yep.
get to that later this video. But so to my car enthusiast viewers, jingle jingle, please wait patiently and tag along for the dumbest FOMO singularity created by Brokey kind. Chapter 1, FOMO Singularity. The internet forever changed how we interact with hobbies.
I can't be the only one seeing this. Everybody who got in late on the Swatch and AP collab is getting smoked. It's down 72%. This is what happens when you have FOMO, the fear of missing out, when you should have had FOB, the fear of being involved. I didn't want to be involved in these crazy lines. I didn't want to be involved in waiting in rain.
I saw all of these.
I didn't want to be involved.
I just didn't know the price, and it fell falling off. I didn't know.
Spraying mace like
Also, paying that much money for a watch that looks like a toy. Fuck that.
it was
man.
Febreze in front of the store.
It's all just FOMO culture nowadays. So what is
Yeah.
FOMO? It means fear of missing out.
Yeah, I
Basically,
used to be
people
like
feel-
this in high school, but luckily I snapped out of it when I was like 19, 20.
feel like they must hop onto the next biggest internet trend and make videos about it or show off on internet and blah blah blah.
Yeah,
Otherwise, if
yeah.
they don't, they're gonna be lame and outcasted. Basically, it's like a high school hallway. It's so sad.
Yeah.
Generally, it's getting harder and harder for me to actually feel sympathy or feel sorry for my fellow colleagues whining about their debt, because I've actually seen a few of them, more of them than I'd like to admit, in fact, get swept up by these modern FOMO culture. I do have quite a few friends.
Yeah, like you'll see a lot of these creators, they're like crying about their debt. And then if you see a lot of their other other TikToks, shorts and all of this and Instagram reels, you'll see just them buying bullshit. At least car. I mean, if you're buying a car that you can't, finance and it's out of your budget, then yeah, that's bullshit as well. But I'm speaking specifically about these types of like the Swatch, like Labubus. Like I've seen $1,000 something special Labubus, bro. You need therapy. Okay, don't pay for this. Pay for therapy.
colleagues who they showed up with the Labubu trend, they got on the Nito trend, they got on the dumplings trend. That was a big one because me being Asian, obviously a lot of my Asian peers really like that.
They didn't even know about this.
It's more of a balza than it is a dumpling, but whatever. I'm not going to be like a little stickler about it. And now they've moved on. to
Oh,
the
I
AP
love dumplings with hot sauce.
Swatches trend, and they're like, oh my gosh, it's the first time in my life I'll ever own a AP watch, and it's just like,
That's
oh my
so
God,
ugly.
it's a landfill slop, bro. These are
Yep.
20 somethings, and some of them are even in their 30s. Some of them are pushing mid 30s, and they're doing this. Like, imagine being the CEO of these companies and these products. Like, it has to be a prank at this point. Like, it's probably a challenge between them where they're like, hey guys,
Let's think of the dumbest product. Think of the most insane marketing. Hype it up to insane levels. Make people rage quit because of it. And then people are gonna start buying it. Hey, don't fix it while it still works, Insane marketing.
who can sell the lower quality item and still get the internet and TikTok culture to buy it? We might actually live in a simulation because after Labubus, these companies aren't even trying anymore. Whether it's Nitos, dumplings, or Happy Meal looking ass watches, just look at them. How are they in any shape
Yeah.
or form rare and desirable?
Yeah,
Like much
fuck
less
that.
expensive, much less scalpable. Like, am I in the crack pipe for having this take?
Like
are-
people bought them to invest and get their money back and I don't know, make more money out of them. Is that why they bought them? Why not save tons of money, as much as you can every single month, and invest? I don't know, some stock portfolio. Goddamn, invest in some stocks, leave them for a few decades. Be smart with it, educate yourself. Come on, swatches, really? Camping outside of a store with drug addicts on the street for a watch that looks like a toy? I don't know, buy gold. That's worth it. That you can invest in that.
We the only sane few who just
not an
aren't
investor,
background NPCs whose
but-
sole purpose in life it is to make massive corporations
I'm
rich
not a
by
financial
buying sloppity
whatever.
slop from them.
I even spent over $500 on the viral mystery dumplings. 3, 2, 1.
I just want to make this TikTok to let everyone know that I am throwing away this Labubu. Here's the trash, here's the Labubu. It can't even be a dog toy because of the stuffing inside.
Also, the fact that the non-rare pulls are thrown away or even destroyed confirms my sentiment. Shows that at baseline, these goods are functionally useless.
Yep.
Just think about it, alright? If I give you the least rare base model Stanley Cup, you actually still have a cup that serves a functional purpose.
That's what
This
I
goes for
said.
shoes too, and
Oh, I
watches
love
even.
Air
And-
Force. They're not Air Force Ones, but I've got 3 pairs of Air Force Ones. One of them, I bought 7 months ago, and I've only worn them 5 times because I love them so much. I don't want to ruin them, and I wear the old ones. I wear them on Sometimes on first dates.
Sure, watches may seem useless nowadays because we all have smartphones that tell time now, but it's still a timepiece that at one point was the most portable way of telling time.
Nah, I still see that as useless. I'm sorry, you've got phones, okay? Fuck that. Now, if you've got money and you want to do it because, I don't know, it has some kind of a look, some kind of a feel to it, I guess, and you're a collector of that stuff, I get it. But I understand more than Labubus.
They also don't require any charging, assuming you don't have a smartwatch. Even though we don't need the redundancy of time telling anymore, I still know several friends and colleagues who wear a
At least that's like fashionable, has some kind of a function. Do you need it? No. But if you can do it, yeah, buy it. Why not?
watch out of a sentimental value, especially if it was passed down by their grandfather or father or someone else in their family. And since these are made of actual rare earth metal,
Like, I don't need this. It costs a good amount of money. It's, you know, gold, but it has a lot of sentimental value, you know? Plus, it's going to be way more expensive, like, decades from now.
and polished and preserved in a way where they're meant to withstand decades, sometimes even centuries of wear and tear, these items inherently carry a more functional and noteworthy value compared to a marked up AliExpress toy that is made of the cheapest of microplastics. Most of this shit won't even make it to the end of this year. Let's not pretend half of this is going to even be around a decade later. They're so low quality that these companies could easily produce more of the rare ones, like I mentioned earlier for the dumplings. It's all about whether the company just decides to end their artificial scarcity, and that's exactly what Labubus did. The company thought the trend was going to go on longer because they decided to produce way more. They ramped up production for all of them, the base model ones and all the rare ones. And instead of making the trend go longer, it did the exact opposite and completely killed the trend. Because once people realized, wait,
that trend should have never existed. Man, trends come and goes. Trends, like, years ago used to, like, last for at least way longer. Now, every single month, maybe second month, there's something new trending, and it's like, you guys remember, like, fidget spinners, or whatever they were called? I was like, first year of high school when they were trendy. They were everywhere. The most random flower shops in my city sold like those things because they were selling them out so fast. I had one of them. They were insanely cheap, even less than $1, because I wanted to annoy my teachers in class because I was a 15-year-old idiot.
Company can just make more anytime they want.
2016,
so
2017.
That I thought was rare isn't actually rare because more are being made. Yeah, I know, shocker. You don't. This is much worse than Gen Xers with the 5-year craze of Beanie Babies, or even millennials with their few years of Funko Pops.
Yeah, I love Funko Pops. I don't buy them, but I'd collect them. Why not?
Labubus didn't even last a full year before us Gen Zers moved on.
You know who are the most base people? The ones who collect and buy every single Monster Energy drink. Yep. And they just keep them. Yep. I love white monsters.
The thing was real, right? Like, I didn't
Best
just dream
ever.
all that up in my head. Because I haven't heard the word Labubu in 3 months, 6 months. I can't even imagine when that was happening. Was that like 6 months ago, a year ago? It's crazy. It was
exactly a year ago, yeah. I remember Labubus were like the craze in June or July or May 2025. Now it's July 2026.
I haven't heard that word in months.
It's not even just consumers who threw this away, but also suppliers and stores who discarded these. And that makes sense because they only have so much shelf space, right? Therefore, if a bunch of their inventory isn't selling anymore, it is quite literally losing the money compared to stocking something on the shelf that will actively revolve, right? Labubus aren't even worth little money. They're actually worth negative amounts of money because they're
I don't know what people thought. They're just stuffed toys.
Gaining money from these stores.
Looking like demons.
This is further
Rabid
proven by
demons.
online resellers who can't even sell some of the rare blind boxes at retail price anymore. This is proof that these items never inherently had any value, and its rarity was all poofed into thin air by social media. They don't have what's called a price floor. You know what happens to watches, shoes, or even Stanley Cups after the trend wanes? You still have a timepiece, a shoe that can be worn,
those
and a
are so
tumbler that
nice.
can still hold liquid. Meanwhile, modern FOMO culture has created...
I've never had a Stanley Cup, but they're just... I can buy a knockoff Stanley Cup for much cheaper. It still does the... Why do I need the original brand? I don't give a shit. I just want the function. That's it. Or this. like it gets the job done. You know, looks nice.
Completely functionless slop that when the trend is over, no amount of discounting will get the general public to buy the item anymore, like I mentioned with resellers and with stores. Myself and many others do not have a price floor for these types of goods. Even at $1, I'm still never buying any of these Nidos, Labubus.
If I want to waste $1 or more, I'll just go to a pet store, buy some food, and give it to stray dogs. Or I can go to some bakery, buy some food, give it to homeless people. If I want to waste money, not gonna waste them on this, you know.
Swatchers or whatever the next stupid gas trend is. These FOMO culture MFs talk about how the rest of us are.
I mean, that's not even wasting money. That's, you know, you helping others.
For saving
I wouldn't
money.
say that's a waste.
But even considering inflation, if you save $10,000, it is still mostly $10,000 by the year's end, right? What will they have in a few months from now with their $10,000 slop collection?
This is basically me every single day in elementary school. I was bullied so much.
Think TikTok, think.
And now all these people are into Labubus and all this insane shit. Meanwhile, now I'm laughing at them. How the turns have tabled.
A $10,000 slop collection will just end up in a landfill in 5 months. What will you have 5 years from now?
I don't even use TikTok. Like, delete TikTok. You already have shorts and Instagram reels. Fuck that.
Wasting tens of thousands of dollars on these trends. You'll still have me posting videos making fun of these losers, since as long as there are clowns being stupid online, my epidemic slop grind might never stop. So reject landfill slop and subscribe for more epidemic slop. And like this video if you're enjoying it so far, and share it to friends to also laugh at all these goofballs, or heck, if one of your loser friends is actually taking part of one of these dumbass trends.
Nope, they're
maybe I'm
not.
the person they finally need to hear to tell them that, dude, there's so much more to life than buying literal landfill slop everyone's gonna forget in 2 months. Anyways, on to chapter 2.
These are a recession indicator. It's almost like that doom spending that you remember after the pandemic. There were a lot of people that were saying, hey, if I can't afford anything, if you're a Gen Z or millennial, kind of feeling the fatalism of never being able to afford a home, maybe I'll just splurge on luxuries in the now to make myself happy.
But
what?
My happiness proceeds to doom spend. So just like with my...
Why not find happiness in educating yourself? Whatever it can be. It can be some, like, made-up anime lore. I don't give a shit. Educating yourself on anything. Doing some physical activities outside. Like, find happiness in stuff that's at least cheap or zero money. Or in somehow it involves other people and doing something healthy for you.
Other videos, I will mention that the economy...
I genuinely believe that the happiest people in the world are the people who don't have the feeling of needing more with people, nor material possessions. I think those are the happiest people. You're the happiest when you feel like you don't need anything more in life. That's my philosophy behind it.
It is rough right now, and younger Gen Z is struggling, and I have sympathy for most of my peers going through the trenches. But wow, I can't help but mention that quite a few of my peers are just doing it to themselves. Like, this is just, we gotta have some self-accountability here.
Yeah.
Like, the most common excuse I hear is, oh, well, it's because the economy sucks that we doom spend. Yay! At least I'm having fun. Go and be boring and save money each month. Well, you have after 1 year. A year of peaceful sleep, that's what I'll have.
Spending argument is a bunch of BS. Gen Z isn't buying expensive things they don't need because I'll never be able to afford a house. They do it because they want to, and that's what they see people.
That's part of being an adult. You know, weighing out the difference and how much you can spend on what you want to and what you actually need. Same with what you gotta do in life, okay? How much are you gonna choose what you actually need, and how much you want? Maybe a lot of the times they're gonna be connected, right? But a lot of the times they're not. And that's what you gotta choose as an adult.
Maybe around
and these people don't want to grow up, and I'm Gen Z.
Also, yet again, we hear the tired excuse of, well, I don't know if I'm going to make it to 40 from people who have no chronic illnesses. And the statistical reality is most of them will, especially if they don't have any medical conditions and they don't do dangerous...
They will if they like continue eating bullshit and never being, you know, physically active.
Hobbies like cave diving or skydiving, right?
Seeing these videos lately where the guy is like, I might not even live long enough to get to the age of retirement. And even if I did, I probably wouldn't be able to retire anyway. What's the point in anything? I'm just going to spend all of my money. Are you all stupid. Getting old sucks. Being old and broke is worse. Invest.
Being old, broke, and unhealthy is even worse. Trust me.
Your money.
I mean,
Or at
I'm
least
24. What do I know?
start saving something. We go over to the comment section. I see so many comments now saying $1 million won't mean anything by the time I retire, but $0 also won't mean anything. Something is better than nothing.
Before they know it, most of these MFs in their 20s will reach 40, and they're gonna realize, oh, I actually made it here. Now what? And then they realize they've peaked early and missed their good old days instead of continuing to live the ongoing beautiful journey of life. And that's mad pathetic. Like, generally, I still look forward to the rest of my life. 30 is still young. Like, most humans don't even hit their genetic peak until 30.
Listen, man, here's the thing. The science, and you guys can tell me in the comments, the thing where people say, like, your testosterone, your health starts declining a lot after 30, it's actually not that, it's not that big of a deal, and it doesn't decline really that much. It actually starts declining more after like 50 or 55. But if you're like eating 80% healthy, you know, the lean meats, well, the red meats as well, not just lean meats, the healthy meats, the healthy cuts, not the like trans fat BS. And if you're eating, you know, enough fruits and vegetables, you don't need that much, okay? Eating like 2 or 3 variations of fruits and vegetables a day, and, you know, eating some, you know, healthy fats and protein in the day, and 80% of 70% of your meals being your food in the day being healthy, and then getting enough steps and working out, at least like lifting weights, for example, 3 times a week, even 2 times a week. I'd say minimum 3. It'll like take you very far in life when it comes to health and longevity. It's insane. And of course, if you're being financially responsible and you're not doing insane stuff, like that's what's more important. You know what's impressive? Not being like, people are like called 45 and they're like, oh, I'm so old. No. Look at your biological age. You can test that, but there's like machines. They're not that, you know, they're not that real, they're not that truthful, I guess, but you know, it's some kind of a measurement. Like being 45 and being able to outrun, out-hike, have more energy than a 25-year-old, that's impressive. You shouldn't be 45 and think, I'm old, I miss the good old years. No. You should be 45 and 25K steps in a day should be like a tiny amount for you. Okay? You'd be like, oh yeah, this is a normal weekend day for me. I went hiking. Where tonight I'm gonna go see friends or family, or you went hiking with your family, even better, or friends, you know, not going to the club in your 20s and going to the bars in your 40s and drinking all the time and eating BS.
I'm tired.
You know what I mean? That's what people should be focused on.
Acting like it's all over when their teenage years or 20s are over. There's so much more to look forward to in life. My problem isn't people genuinely enjoying what they spent on a single hobby, but rather people pretending to enjoy life by getting multiple hobbies that they don't even like that much as they spraying themselves into oblivion by doing 5 things at
My hobbies are making videos, going to the gym, not really a hobby. I sometimes I go do that just because, you know, I don't want to go insane. And I have a treadmill and I walk on it a lot. Those are my hobbies. And I go out and do shit with friends. And if I become rich one day, I'll travel more. But I'll probably save and invest in way more.
Once blacked out drunk, drugged up the wazoo, surrounded by friends they don't even like, and they don't even remember these nights.
I met a cycle that feeds itself.
Actual clown buffoonery. A lot of these MFs who get themselves into massive debt going into Disney World and various
I've seen so many of those
on midnight releases, all to buy this consumerism slot from multi-billionaire, sometimes 100-billionaire companies, are way less happier than you and I ever will be. And they may not realize it in the moment, but they do realize it when the high finally wears off. And it's,
I mean, if what's making you happy is just stuff related to spending a lot of money on, you've got some hole in your life and you're trying to fill it in with this, and it's clearly not working. You gotta work on it. You gotta find it. Okay?
especially when the trend finally dies and no one wants to
I feel like a therapist, but I'm the worst guy to be a therapist.
Up anymore.
How much do you think you spent here in the last year?
I'm gonna go $4,350. That's pretty bad.
What?
14,000. Shut
God damn.
Like, I used to know multiple people from former friend groups who spent more on their anime figures and card collections than most people do on a house down payment. I cannot fathom that still to this. Like, my value of money won't let me do that. Now, huge
Is there some kind of an app that can track everything you're buying on a daily basis? And, you know, for example, it can, like, track somehow your Apple Pay and track all the numbers, all of your payments. And you should check. Maybe you have that on Apple Pay. I don't know. I've never opened Apple Pay to track that stuff because usually I just buy food and that's it. I barely buy clothing. I hate going shopping for clothing, man. I fucking hate it so much. The most I spend on is bills, groceries, and, well, I was gonna say gas, but I don't really drive that much.
Disclaimer, I do want to mention again that it's okay to still have hobbies that you enjoy, like going to card shops and
This is the most useless thing I've bought in 2026 so far. This. And it's not even that useless.
To socialize.
I just needed a new one.
That's more than fine. I don't want to sound like some doom pillar who thinks being at home all alone forever is a good way to live life. Obviously, being a car enthusiast, I have a hobby that mandates me to go outside because I'm not just going to sit in my home and die to carbon monoxide poisoning.
Yeah, I'm more of a motorcycle enthusiast. And I sold my motorcycle a few years ago. I'm going to buy a new one in the future. But I don't want to spend that much on it right now.
I don't care if
so I'm
people
not
call
buying
it
one
nerdy.
right now.
Every hobby to some extent is nerdy. You guys are doing fine if you actually enjoy the hobby. The people that
depends what you're nerdy about, man.
Upset me are the people that
just don't do drugs and don't scam people. Logan Paul. Yeah.
Go obsessively, and they only go to spend cash because they don't actually like the hobby. They like the dopamine that gets injected into their brain each time they buy something. They're just trying to pump their brain full of chemicals. Like, that's the problem. It's like food. Anything is poison given the dosage. Bananas are great for you, but did you know that if
you can die laughing, you know that? If you have a weak heart especially, you can die from drinking way too much water. Everything can be too much.
Eat 10,000 of them at once, you would die? Like, no shit, right? Like, that super obvious logic applies to hobbies as well. Any hobby in moderation does in fact lead to a happier life, and that's the original reason people used to say, well, I spent X amount of money on a hobby because it makes me feel happy.
I mean, if you spend a lot of money on your hobby and it's making you money and you're actually profiting off of it because of some content creation and whatever shtick, cool. I've got nothing against that. You've got a huge community. You're doing it. You're making money out of it. Who cares?
And if it's reasonable, they're correct with that phrase. However, just like with the brokey epidemic, modern internet culture has taken these phrases and bastardized them in a way where they're just thinly veiled excuses for bad habits. The happiness from the hobby and the community is real, but the happiness from just the item alone isn't.
If I watch another video of a car guy saying that he bought his dream car and now he's tired of it, I'm gonna crash out. Because, bro, let's just be honest.
That's why I'm driving an old, ugly, rusty car. I would buy a new one, maybe, if I'm rich in the future. Well, actually, I'll buy, you know, a one that I can actually buy. Like, I can actually spend and not have any issues. And, you know, insurance won't be insane and stuff. And replacing parts wouldn't be insanely pricey as well. But I just prefer motorcycles, man. Also, walking. If you live in a walkable city with great public transport, I would never use the car. Maybe at night.
You did not buy your dream car, bro. You bought a hype car. You bought a car that everybody thought was going to be dope. It was not your dream.
I love the United States. I wish I was there. But one thing they don't have, well, most cities, is great public transport, unlike European cities. Not that my European city has great public transport. It doesn't. It's like it's meh. But, for example, a lot of Northeast cities have very good public transport.
Car. It was everybody else's dream car.
For instance, if someone spent $1,000 on various Pokemon cards to actually play the game and they've accumulated it slowly over the course of like years, right? That person's infinitesimally happier than some loser scalper who just bought one singular card for 10 times the amount just to sleeve it up, box it up, and store it in some vault until he sells it to another loser scalper online for a bit of profit. More money spent does not equal more happiness, and more items owned also does.
My philosophy is more money will make you happy if you're, not making enough. But it's like, let's say you live in the US, right? You're making 50K a year. Of course, going up to 100K a year is going to make you happier. It's going to make life much easier. Going up to 500K, pretty fucking good. But you think if you go from 500 to a million a year, it's gonna like increase your happiness the same amount as going from 50 to 200K? I don't think so. I don't think so. You think going from 5 million a year to 20 million a year is gonna make you that much happier? No. It won't. It's not gonna be that big of a change. It's a lot of money, yeah. It's a quadruple amount. It's not gonna change your life that much. You already have a lot, you know. That's what I mean. So there's like a point where it's like, what am I gonna do? Like what? You're just gonna save, invest, and if you want to have a family, you can, you know, help them out financially in the future.
True happiness
at
always
least that's
came from
one use
how
case.
those items were used, and the community that was created around them, and the people you met and shared time with in that hobby. This rolls right into the final chapter. Scalpers and collector culture ruined hobbies, including cars.
I spent $5.3 million on this Pikachu card. Because Pokemon has outperformed the stock market by 3,000% in the last 20 years.
Yeah, I saw
Meaning
this.
This is now worth more than all of these watches, these cars, and probably this dinosaur.
I hate that people don't even buy things to enjoy using them anymore. This then deprives the item from being used by people who are actually part of the hobby, who wanted to use the item to enjoy the hobby. Also, lock in, car enthusiasts. This is the part of the video where I finally mentioned cars. I hope you actually watched the rest of the video and didn't just skip here. If you did just skip...
I always watch, but nobody watches my videos till the end. I'm boring.
Here, well then go and watch another one of my car videos later to make up for it, okay? Anyways, it's crazy watching the complete death of dream cars. As once obtainable entry-level...
I'm sorry, I don't find that car beautiful. I'm sorry, I really don't find old cars beautiful. This is not hate. Totally respect you. I know a lot of people love old cars. But you know how old cars are made not that durable? And they will get destroyed much more than newer cars. Now, they don't have some issues that the newer cars have when it comes to like electricity and them fucking up and you gotta pay so much for them. But yeah, there's pros and cons.
Like Ferrari 360s,
I get it.
Gallardos and...
Like this looks much better. But still, I'm not a supercar guy. I'm more of a SUV guy. Yeah.
Whatnot. These
I'm a puss boy.
MFs were like 60
that's what
to
they've
75
called
grand in 2017. Same thing of Nissan GTRs. This is another one. Throw that one in there as well.
Most of my male friends love GTRs. I'm like, no. I like Mercedes GLEs or GLSs.
Sure, they're not cheap still, but that's like a fathomable amount of money that you could achieve in your lifetime. So if you saw it as a teenager, you'd be like, oh, I can afford that someday.
It's because of the looks. I don't give a fuck about the performance. It's all about the looks. I'm not a car guy.
Instantly, but it's like a cool thing to look forward to, right? Not when collectors are around, because they swoop in and some of these models even got driven up to $1 million for a supercar. Not even a V12, one of 500. Like, what are we doing here?
To us car guys, however, we've seen the recent auction results and how cars
looks like a transformer
worth a few $100,000, sometimes not even a year ago, are all of a sudden fetching millions of dollars. That being said, such inflation over such a short period of time doesn't really feel organic, because I don't think there is 4 times the demand for a 360 Challenge Stradale as there was last year. Yet normal debut spec cars have increased in value by nearly a factor of 4 over the rare Stripe Elite cars and colors other than red we're going for in 2025. You're even seeing some examples go for over $1 million.
And even for like mass-produced JDM supercars, like the whole point of a Nissan GTR is that it's a Nissan, and I don't mean that in a demeaning way. It's a Nissan. It's supposed to be reliable and affordable. But now even like JDM's vehicles are costing $150.
Yeah, I heard about this. Like so many of my GTR friends, they're complaining about this so much.
The 180, even 200, 200 grand.
When a non-car guy like me has heard about stuff like this, you know it's bad.
Plus, this is depressing.
This is a 2020 model for $170,000.
And here is a car enthusiast, like knowing damn well most of us got into this hobby because of dream cars. Like I always preach that you don't need an expensive car to join this hobby and enjoy it, which is still true, but I would be lying if I said
that's why you can spend a few $1,000s on an older motorcycle, and even if it's older, because we're just more rare of a species. You can buy a 500, 400cc A2 bike, right? Not even that fast, not even that big of a bike, right? Cheaper, like 20, 18 model. Used. Still looks badass. Like, you know what I mean? Cheap, used, 400cc bike. Well, let it be a sport bike, let it be a naked, I don't care, right? Always looks badass. Always. Something to think about.
Said most of us don't still have dream cars.
Now, motorcycle guys will see that and think, it's a 400cc bike. I'm more impressed by a, 1000cc, whatever you like, BMWs, competitive, and whatever, right?
Someday dream
But
of
normal
owning
people?
something nicer someday. It's harder and harder for us to have these now because
They all
now
love
they're
the
just
bike.
shooting up several times over their value because billionaire collectors started buying 10 of them at once, wrapping them up and storing them in underground bunkers. And multiple billionaires or multi-hundred billionaire whales are doing this to multiple of the same vehicle rather to...
It's the same stuff they're doing with a lot of $1 million high-rise apartments in New York. Nobody lives in them. They're just, storing their money by buying apartments or whatever, however it works.
Control the purchasing price because they control a large portion of the supply, right? It's basically an investment scheme to these losers. I think this destroys the community. I think this is a kicking down the ladder moment. I feel like this is someone who's already rich and already made it so they can defend this behavior because...
Yeah, there's absolutely a consumerism slop epidemic with cars and with everything. Tell me what you guys think in the comments. Bladed Angel. Amazing channel. I've watched a lot of his videos. I love him. Subscribe to him, like the video, and tell me what you guys think. And have you spent on any bullshit slop a lot of money recently? Hopefully you haven't. And have a nice day.